Home weather staff and correspondent reports October 30th. 2017 10:46 p.m. A fallen tree left a gaping hole in the roof of Lisa Blackburn's Epping cottage Sunday night. Jason Schreiberunion leader correspondent. It took the Pemigewasset River only a few hours Monday to destroy what Jennifer and Andy Roy saved 18 years to buy. The Roys, who bought the 17-unit Gilchrist Cottages and Motel in Thornton less than a year ago, were packing up for higher ground because the rainfall in Pemi flooded their entire property, leaving it under several feet of water. "It's heartbreaking, I'm not going to lie, but my family's safe," Andy Roy said. Monday's fierce storm left some people cleaning up after an unexpected gust crashed through their roofs and sent some homes floating away. In Warren, a house, detached from its foundation, floated along the Baker River before being destroyed against a bridge. A house was washed off its foundation on Jericho Road in Bartlett, according to the American Red Cross. Gov. Chris Sununu and Perry Plummer, director of the Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management, visited Campton in Grafton County on Monday afternoon. Grafton and nearby Carroll County were particularly affected by the storm, state officials said. If damage statewide reaches $1.9 million, the state can seek federal funding for municipalities to pay for emergency repairs. Sununu said the storm damaged more than 300 roads throughout New Hampshire. "It came fast. It came with the wind," he said. The Omni Mount Washington Resort in Bretton Woods was inaccessible for a couple hours Monday morning after the Ammonoosuc River overflowed, according to Marketing Director Craig Clemmer. Guests at the lodge at Bretton Woods and as the Bretton Arms were without power and were being relocated, he said. Andy, Anderson, and Jennifer Roy point to the flooded cabins at the Gilchrist Cottages and Motel in Thornton, which they bought a year ago. John Cazial, union leader correspondent. Falling trees in Epping. Lisa Blackburn was thankful her family left their summer cottage in camp heading for the winter 2 weeks ago after discovering that a large pine tree snapped and split the upstairs in half during Sunday night's ferocious winds. "By the grace of God we were not here," said Blackburn, who lives in Salisbury, Mass. The tree caused extensive damage to the second-floor bedrooms and sent debris crashing onto the first floor. In Dover, a family was grateful they own a construction company Monday morning when a pine tree uprooted on their Spur Road property and crashed into its house. Mike Turgeon, owner of Turgeon's Construction Inc. in Somersworth, said he was in his bedroom when the large tree came down at about 5:30 a.m. The whole house was rattling. "I could hear the branches moving back and forth. Then it started making creaking sounds," Turgeon said. Turgeon was able to bring in some of the company's equipment to take the tree off the roof, and family members worked to cut it up with chainsaws Monday morning. Portions of the roof and back patio of the home were destroyed. In Allenstown, a woman was saved from her home in the Holiday Acres mobile home park after a tree trunk fell on her home and trapped her in bed, according to Pembroke fire officials who assisted with the rescue. 2 people sleeping in the bedroom were trapped by debris. They were rescued and drove themselves to get medical treatment for minor injuries. Hook said firefighters responded to more than 25 calls in 15 hours after the storm. These included medical and carbon monoxide emergencies as well as for downed wires. High winds brought down a tree onto a single-family house in a neighborhood still drying out from flooding last week on Maple Street near Webster Street in Manchester. David Land, union leader. Water worries in Manchester. Renee Daniels, who had 2 feet of water in her flooded basement on Maple Street in Manchester last week, saw the Sunday night storm's rain worsen a sinkhole in her backyard. "It made it deeper," Daniels said, as it grew by a foot to 3 feet deep. "She is keeping the kids she watches at her daycare center from playing near it. We don't need to be losing anybody in the sinkhole." A few doors down the street, the storm downed a large maple tree that sliced a wooden fence and landed on the roof of Jean LeBlanc's house. "It was a miracle because it didn't take down any power wires or the roof itself," LeBlanc said. Another large tree fell across the street. In the Lakes region, the Weirs Beach section of Laconia was among the areas left in the dark. Without electricity, some businesses were forced to remain closed, most notably the Guilford Shopping Centre, portions of which extend into Laconia. In Portsmouth, high winds blew a scaffolding truck off the Sarah Mildred Long Bridge Monday morning, according to a spokesman with the Maine Department of Transportation. In Nashua, fire rescue responded to more than 100 calls in a 12-hour period beginning at 8 p.m. Sunday. Several homes were damaged by falling trees and roads were blocked throughout the city because of damaged trees or power lines. Fire crews also responded to a residential fire at 12 Brookline Street, which is still under investigation to determine if the blaze was related to the weather conditions. Sunday night's high winds snapped this utility pole, felling power lines, a transformer and a crossarm, resulting in the closure of Cummings Cove Road in Meredith. B. Lewis Union Leader Correspondent. Road closures in Londonderry. Fire Chief Darren O'Brien said there were 28 road closures at the height of the storm. The storm also made it difficult for firefighters responding to 44 Old Derry Road shortly before 12:30 p.m. A large tree had fallen across the driveway at the single-family home, which had lost power. Crews had to cut up the tree to reach the house. The homeowner had the generator backfed through the dryer outlet, and it appears that it caused some computer equipment to overheat. And that appears to have caused the fire, O'Brien said. I'd say the house is probably a total loss. Crews contained the fire within an hour, department officials say. O'Brien said the homeowner attempted to re-enter the premises several times to save some of his personal items and eventually was overcome with smoke inhalation. The homeowner was transported to Parkland Medical Center with non-life-threatening injuries, the chief said. Schools across the state were closed due to power outages and debris on local roadways. In Manchester, Superintendent of Schools Dr. Bolgen Vargas issued a statement about the decision to close schools in the Queen City, in response to parents upset at the timing of the decision, which came after some students had headed off to bus stops. Unlike during a winter storm when the impact on the city is sometimes easier to evaluate all at once, reports about power outages at several schools today came in at different times, Vargas said in the statement. The outage at Beach Street Elementary School had the most serious effect, because that is where all of the meals for 13 out of 14 elementary school are prepared. The decision to cancel school came when we determined the district-wide impact. We understand that some students were waiting at bus stops or had already been picked up. Manchester Transportation Authority successfully implemented our emergency plan to ensure students' safety in a situation like this. Every child was returned home and never in danger of being left alone. Contributing to this story were correspondents Jason Schreiber, Kimberly Haas, John Cazial, Chris Garafola, Kimberly Houghton, Melissa Prue and B. Lewis, as well as staff reporters Michael Cusino and Paul Feely. Public safety weather.